question for you. Is Minecraft easy or hard for you? Your pick. Personally, it's pretty easy for me, if I do say so. Well, there are three difficulties to choose from if you think Minecraft is just borderline, just way too easy. Here are the game difficulties. You could try normal, which is basically the base game. Hard, which mostly adds like the fact that you can die from hunger, and hardcore, where you can die from hunger, and you only have one life too. That it's hard mode, but you only have one. It's pretty difficult, honestly. But if it's hard for you, well, peaceful and easy. Peaceful, there's just almost nothing that can kill you except for fall damage and for lava. There's like I would not imagine myself dying to anything else. And then easy is just basically an easier version of normal. But a question I've been getting from some of my friends is, could Minecraft become too easy? Now, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it could become easy. Let's just craft a netherite pickaxe with only just like wood planks. That would be crazy. But let's make it too easy, right? I know Minecraft is a great game. Minecraft is it's just amazing. But that doesn't mean that we can make it a lot easier than it really is. For example, well, I bet you have some ideas how to make Minecraft easier, like way too easy. First of all, tools have infinite durability. Now, I've heard ideas of that, and I've actually played mods of it, and it's pretty interesting how people come up with the concept. And players cannot drown, which is one of my friends told me some time ago, and mobs do no damage. Now, you're probably wondering, wait, mobs do no damage? What would that? So let me explain to you what that would mean. That would mean that basically all the things that can naturally kill you in-game do no damage to you. But, I mean, that would be pretty interesting, and some people would like for mobs to do no damage to you. And the list goes on, basically. And, well, one thing though. You must make sure, if you're gonna make it too easy, that you can't die. Now, I know mods have been made so that you can't die in Minecraft. That's basically creative mode, but it's survival mode, but way too easy. So, how do you do it? Well, since you have to prevent every single death in the game, what are all the deaths possible in Minecraft? Well, here they are. Here, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is an actual website. Don't judge. This is every single death. This is every single one. So let's start. For example, a bear was shot by a player or mob. Well, some way you could fix that is by every time the arrow gets close, it reverses off of a player. If it gets close to a player, it reverses off of the player. That would be pretty interesting. And that's the same thing for that, basically. Snowballs. If a snowball got close, it would just straight up just reverse the same thing, basically. If a player was pricked to death, well, there's a way you could fix that. What if if it walked close to a cactus, right? What if it walked towards a every time it walked towards a cactus, the cactus would just delete itself. It would straight up just delete itself. That would be great. Every time you get so that would basically mean it would almost be impossible to get green dye in the game, but who cares? It's not that useful. And well, to escape a mob. Well, depends on which mob, which we'll explain later. A player drowning. Well, what if you could just make it so well, players don't drown. They have infinite water breathing. They have one every time they enter water, they have water breathing. That would be pretty interesting, right? and a player experiences kinetic energy. What if, you know, if you fly too fast in Minecraft and hit a wall, it does damage and can possibly kill you? What if every time you slammed into a wall, you know what? I'm telling you, instantly. Like every time you got close to the wall that you would die to, it would deactivate. What if a player experienced kinetic energy while trying to fight a mob? To escape a mob, I mean. Well, it depends on which mob, and I'll help you later for those mobs. If a player blew up. But what if simply a player explosion damage did zero damage in game? Well, that fixes it, right? Right? Yeah, and basically that. By intentional game design. You know what? I'm gonna change that a little bit just for that one. Beds do not explode in the nether and the end. That's how you're gonna make it easier, okay? Blair hit the ground too hard. Now, if gets killed by a less than 5 block fall, yeah, ender pull damage or fall while running an entity that died due to fall damage, yes. Player hit the ground too hard. Well, what if when you tried falling to your death? What if you got slow falling? Every time you are not touching a block on your side, behind you, in front of you, on top of you, below you, on all sides, on all 6 sides. What if it simply gave you, if you were just in there, it would simply just give you slow falling for that entire time. That would be pretty interesting, right? And the same thing for falling up from a high place. Same thing for this. Some weeping vines. It's the same thing, basically. So this thing is the same thing, basically for that one's possible. Stalagmite, stalagmite, and dies. Well, isn't that like the spikes, the dripstone spikes? I hope it is. Okay, so well, what if every time you came close to a dripstone spike, it would just every time you got close to it, the spike would delete itself. I mean, pretty easy. Or literally, the slow falling would just save you no matter what. Okay, was impaled by on this time while fighting player mob. Same thing basically. By falling anvil. What if an anvil? What if it came super close to you, like 3 blocks above your head? It would just break and drop the item. That would be pretty good. While fighting player mob, no, it's the same thing basically. By a falling block, other than an anvil, yeah. Well, what if it's basically the same thing. It'll just break, right? That makes sense. So let's think. Screwed by a falling. Select site while falling player. What if if it was falling? Well, I have an idea about that. What if it simply just deleted exactly? A player it went up in flames. If a player went up in flames. What if every time you stepped into a fire-related thing, you would get fire resistance infinitely? Walked into fire while fighting. Yeah, burned to death. Same thing. Went off with a bang. Well, explosion damage is reduced, so I guess that's been fixed basically. Tried to swim in lava, same thing basically. Was struck by lightning. Lightning just well, if lightning strikes, I what about this? If lightning strikes, what's the thing? A lightning rod spawns away from you, so the lightning gets redirected. I think it's pretty cool. Discovered the floor was lava. It's the same thing basically. Magic was killed by magic. But that is technically made with a lot of things. Like there's a lot of types of magic. For example, potions of harming. What if potions of harming simply what if potions of harming once they got close to you, they would turn into potions of healing? That would be probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Or it could be a strength potion. You know what? It's gonna be a strength potion. And that's basically the same thing. But if it was a dragon, it was the ender dragon or a witch, it just every potion that's dangerous just turns strength strength potions, okay? And if it was the ender dragon, well, what if the ender dragon simply cannot fire any of those his fireballs? And what if a player simply just can't freeze? Yeah, that's possible. And so let's use this mob thing for a player is slain by a player or a mob. So first of all, zombies. What about this? Zombies just die once they come close to you. Well, technically, skeletons can't hurt you because, well, the arrows reverse. If they picked up like an item though, like a sword, they would just turn into bone blocks, two bone blocks if you came close. Spiders, well, spiders just are basic. They're basic. They actually run away from you. Okay. Creepers, explosion damage does nothing, so they're technically not dangerous. Endermen cannot teleport, and well, they can't pick up blocks either. Actually, they can pick up blocks, but only dirt and sand, probably. Right? That totally makes sense. And also Endermen will just turn into two Ender pearls when they come near you. Yeah, so it's like suicide basically. And by a mob using an item, well, let's say there's a sword being used. They just die close to you basically. Was firewalled. So, for example, a ghast. Well, when a ghast shoots a fireball, in this case, if the fireball gets close, in any direction that you're pointing in, the fireball will get reversed and redirected into that direction. So it's basically like a return to sender machine. I'm gonna be completely honest. Was stung to death by was stung by a bee. Well, technically, it was stung to death. Well, bees. What if bees are just 100% passive? Bees are just infinitely passive and they can't do anything. That'd be very fun. Was shot by a skull from the wither. What if wither skulls simply just wither skulls just elite when they come close to you? Actually, they drop diamonds when they come close to you. That'd be super funny. Starving. Players have what about to fix this? Players have infinite hunger, right? Players every time a player is suffocating, the block that they're in, the part that their head is in deletes. Was squished too much by the entity cramming. Well, entity cramming. Let's just fix that. If you're starting to get entity crammed, well, all the mobs delete from that one block that you're in. Player was squashed by a player mob. I mean, player was smoked to death by a sweet berry bush. You know what? Sweet berry bushes just delete when you walk on them. Trying to hurt. Trying to hurt a player. Thorns don't work, okay? Was impaled. Tridents straight up just break and drop when they come close to you. Interesting. Apparently, so for the void, it's almost impossible to strive, but if you fall into the void, you get teleported up to a solid block that has air. Don't appears when player is hurt by a player mob, then killed by void. Oh, so Well, it's the same thing for the void, basically. Wither effect. Withered away, you can't get the withered. What about that? You can't get withered. Was roasted by Dragon Breath. So what if Dragon Breath simply just, Dragon Breath doesn't work? That's my plan. Oh, okay. And slash kill doesn't exist. Well, technically, that is it. Those are death messages, basically. Those are the basic Minecraft death messages. And we found ways to prevent them, but still, that is not enough. Let me tell you why. Minecraft has a RNG aspect in the game, meaning no matter what you do, there will always be a factor to make the game harder, and that is luck. But let's fix that. It can be fixed. Because if you change the RNG settings to increase chances of something happening, yes, it is possible for it to be truly easy. Minecraft to be truly too easy. For example, Desert Temple Chest can have a guarantee to have a stack of diamond blocks. That makes sense, right? Jungle temples have no traps and they always have 64 gold blocks. That would be pretty interesting. And wither skeletons always drop wither skulls. Endermen always drop ender pearls. You can actually choose what a piglin trades you. That would be insane, honestly. That was honestly in the game. What else is lucky? Bastion pulls. There's always going to be an enchanted netherite sword when you're playing when you get a bastion. In every chest there's going to be a netherite sword that's enchanted. Wouldn't that be nice if it was actually in the game? That would be insanely crazy. And, basically, you basically make loot better. That's how you fix it. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one. Goodbye.